Hello, everybody. I guess you know I got my glasses. Don't you like them? Pretty cool specs. Um, my sister seems to be doing okay. They took her off dialysis, and she's only on there probably a week, maybe less than that. They tried to say it was the plague, but with the twisted bowel, I would say that's the reason, and most of it, she was dehydrated. But the nurses tried to make it out to be the plague, but the surgeon told me it had nothing to do with it. Even her doctor said she ain't worried about that. But talk a little bit about what's going on here in my state. Um, I can tell that some of the media, local, and swing very liberal. Um, Now that all the um, handouts, other than the food benefit and the school lunch stuff, um, I think the child tax credit is done. I think the unemployment is done. But now everybody's into suing so and so for discrimination and this and that. As far as I know, in this state, there have been laws on the books for discrimination against a person of color or sex or whatever. Women, I mean, you couldn't discriminate, equal rights. That stuff still stands there. Yeah, people are out there claiming these companies are discriminating against them and doing the same as the that race car driver was doing about the stuff. One was that her husband committed suicide because uh, this warehouse discriminated against her husband. Um, I can't see that because those people they hired me. Um, and I had no experience in doing any of that stuff. But yeah, this world is getting out of hand. But as far as the discrimination part is, and they want to bring Al Sharpton in. He's one of the biggest racists I've ever seen, and I grew up hearing him all the time when I was younger. Yeah, I mean, not everybody. I mean, for the most part, people nowadays don't care. I mean, yeah, you see that those idiots that murdered that guy that was jogging. That was wrong. Now, if they wanted to do a citizen's arrest, they could have detained him, called the police, and had them check him out. But they didn't. Took the law in their own hands. I don't agree with that. I never will agree with that. Also, New York, you got New York. Um, now, I think, yeah, it's Georgia. Now they're going after the former president, the prosecuting attorney in New York, and then you got this stupid woman down there in Georgia going after him. You know, what I see with these liberals is they're cutting their nose off to spite their face. Um, I mean, me personally, tired of it. Um, I mean, if she was on the other foot, and I know it would be what they would do, they'd be, they'd be fighting and screaming along the way. Then I hear that, this one YouTuber does a lot of the stores, the empty shelves and stuff like that. What stores have and what they don't have. Him talking to a subscriber, hoping the stock market will crash so you can buy a home. Well, guarantee that's the wrong way to be, because people are going to lose their homes, foreclosures and stuff. People are going to be on the street. Their taxes are going to go high. Now, you don't wish stuff like that. It's going to happen. I dread to say, but this is not going to be one of the easiest games that you're going to be able to get out of. Everybody in the lower class and the middle class are going to be paying for everybody else's butt. I'm already paying for, the seniors that are in low income. They lower their benefits to support other people from other countries. I know they do. But, if it hadn't been for before this all happened in 2000, I think it was 2019, came to my head I need to prepare, get food and all that stuff. I told everybody when I left it, little secret with my family for a long time until March 13th of 2020. Told them to stock up. I know people don't like to talk about politics or whatever, but sometimes you have to, because that's part of the whole game. If you remember what Jesus said, render to Caesar's what is Caesar's, and to God's what is God's. Well, this is the same thing. Like taxes, material things, stuff like that. And then your treasures are in heaven. And you give credit to God where credit is due. But I see in the stores they had probably about 2 pounds of a roast of some sort, Meyer. Sucker was $25. $25. I see hamburger for 17, not even 3 pounds. But you try to get the sales, and I said I wasn't gonna buy it, and I ain't buying nothing that high. There's other ways. Those little Jiffy muffin mixes that you buy? That's a good idea, because if you want a hankering for something sweet, you can kind of like get the blueberry or something like that and make kind of a bread out of it too. Make the muffin, make it the same way you would the muffin mix, but put it in a bread pan or something. With some little butter on it or oil or whatever you use. Pretty good that way. Because you cannot find biscuits. I don't know whatever happened to biscuits, but I know I can bake my own biscuits. I don't need no fancy biscuits to make them. I don't buy them that often anyway, but because push comes to shove, I can make biscuits and gravy. I can make bread and do all that stuff. Make beans, I know how to do that stuff. Oh, there's a trick to making beans too that I forgot to say. Dry beans, like you gotta soak them. My stepdad, a long time ago when I was a kid, said to put a little baking powder in the liquid in the beans and when they're soaking. Takes out the gassiness in the bean. It truly does. When next day when you're getting ready to make them, you drain them, and then you rinse them off, and then you start to boil them. Man, those suckers are good. You put a little bit of bacon, ham hocks, smoked ham hocks, or whatever. It's pretty good. What you need to do is start getting some yeast, because I know when this started, that yeast went really quick. I mean, they're putting limits on toilet paper. They got limits on water up here. Stuff like that. And the only kind you find most of the time is expensive stuff. Even the dollar stores don't have it. Water. Candies like, regular, like jelly candy, like gummies and stuff like that. They're really, people are buying that stuff up. Oh yeah, I seen a bunch of people doing stuff on medication, like over the counter stuff. You might want to check into that and get some of that too. And people are blaming this because of the plague, but I don't think so. I think it's it could be because of the mandates and stuff for the truck drivers and stuff like that, but I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of money that they were giving people. It made them complacent. I mean, unless you go to school, you have to take just about any job you can take. It's just the way it is. If you're in the schooling to do certain things, you're not going to be able to do them without the education. And I don't think that they should be. Their debt, as far as the loans go, should be forgiven. My daughter, when people talk, oh, I'm oppressed, yeah, this and that. My daughter, youngest daughter, she has two kids, two boys, in fact. My ex-husband and her mother-in-law took care of the boys, and went back to school. Her and her husband and stuff like that, and she worked too. And so did her husband. That's another thing. This plague has cost them their relationship and stuff. But they both worked and did all this stuff and made it through college. And he's a nurse and he's pretty high up there. And she's a therapist, respiratory therapist. She was going to be a psychologist, but she ended up not. I wish she'd have stayed in the psychology. She wouldn't have had as much stuff as she's got to deal with today. But anyway, that, yeah, I mean, we weren't rich and, stuff like that, but she put herself own self through school. I taught her that she needed to do that, never depend on the system or somebody else take care of you. She always kept that, and she don't have to worry about if her marriage goes south or not because she's got a good job. If she stays with it, because of stress and everything else, she hobbles around like an old person. And I walk like she looks older than me. She's got bursitis in her hip. Good grief. My family's falling apart. But, yeah, now that I got my specs, I can do that thing on Chic, ESAF, Effendi, and stuff like that will be easier for me to read because these things are like 9 day compared to reading glasses. But they look pretty good. Look pretty nice. But if there ever is a time, if we ever get out of this mess, which I don't know if we will or not. Some out there saying, it's the end. And it could very well be. But we have to live our life to the fullest. Let the chips fall where they may. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a few minutes. I'll show you my news bags and talk a little bit. But I think they should leave J6 to where it will stop the investigations, just because if this was the other side, they'd have a fit. They're going to have a fit too. If the Republicans win this midterm. But anyway, besides that, say God bless. I hope peace finds your house. And you can feel as peaceful as I feel today. And don't look for tomorrow or don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself, take care of itself. So, with that said, God bless. Jesus loves you. And I do care about you, God bless.